Good evening. My name is Elvia Rivas. I'm the president of Ontario Montclair School District. Welcome to beautiful and historic Gardner Spring Auditorium and the Ontario Chaffee Community Show Band's performance of La Musica de Fiestas, a tribute to Latin music. I am pleased to introduce my co-host this evening, Mr. Gil Zendejas. Gil is Vice President of the Chaffee Joint Union High School District Board of Trustees.
Thank you, Elvia. Good evening. I'm delighted to be co-hosting the performance this evening with Miss Elvia Rivas. The show band has put together a program that celebrates Latin music through a variety of genres that include marches, folk songs, popular music, and Latin jazz. The outstanding soloists who will be performing for you this evening include talented show band musicians Francisco Moat and dancer Kathy Soderlin, guest guitar soloist Ken Soderlin, guest vocalist Dr. George Matamala, guest conductor George Osorio, former show band trumpeter Aaron Holguin, and special guest artist Dr. Reed Gratz.
The performance begins with several instrumental compositions that feature the outstanding musicians of the show band. The first selection is a march composed in 1925 by the Spanish musician and composer Jaime Texador, who named it after one of his piano students, the then 12-year-old Amparito Roca. It was first performed in September of 1925 in the Theater El Siglo, located in the town of Carlet, where the composer lived at the time. And I don't know if you know this, Gil, but it was also performed my freshman year in high school when I played it. It's a true story. Yes. You may applaud, that's okay. It is a paso doble, a fast-paced Spanish military march used by infantry troops. Its speed allows for troops to march at 120 steps per minute. This style of military march gave rise to the modern Spanish dance, a genre of musical music often played during a bullfight. This march is one of the better-known pieces of Spanish music in the world. Please welcome our guest conductor, George Osorio, as he leads the show band in Amparito Roca.
Excellent piece to open up tonight. I'd like to share a few words about our guest conductor, George. He is currently the music director and conductor of the Southland Wind Ensemble, a community group based in Ontario, California. He's a recent graduate of California State University, Dominguez Hills, with a double major in music performance and Spanish literature. During his musical training, he was fortunate to study with Dr. Sylvia Lee Mann, who helped to develop his skills in conducting. Through her mentorship, George worked as the assistant conductor to both his college orchestra and the Southland Symphony Orchestra. George will now conduct the show band in a traditional and well-known Mexican folk song, supposedly written by a resident of the city of Chiapa de Corzo and said to be inspired by the traditional dress of Chiapan women. Join me in a round of applause as George conducts the outstanding musicians of the Ontario Chaffee Community Show Band in Chiapanecas.
Now that's just fun. Thank you. Our next guest artist is Aaron Olguin. He's a graduate of Colony High School and a former Ontario Chaffee Community Show Band member. Aaron received his Bachelor of Arts degree in Music Performance from the Bob Cole Conservatory at California State University, Long Beach. In the last several years, he has performed with numerous orchestras in Southern California. Aaron will perform a trumpet solo made famous by the great virtuoso Rafael Mendez entitled La Virgen de la Macarena, the patron saint of Macarena in Seville, Spain, to whom matadors would pray before entering the arena. It has since become known as the bullfighter song. The solo was performed by Mendez on this very same stage many years ago when Maestro Jack Mercer, we all love and remember Jack Mercer, yes, was the band director here at Chaffee High School. Join me in welcoming a round of applause for Aaron Olguin.
I don't know about you, but I was picturing a bullfight the entire time that was playing. I witnessed the entire event. One of the great influences in popular Latin music has been the works of American guitarist Carlos Santana. He rose to fame in the late 1960s and was responsible for pioneering the fusion of rock and roll and American Latin jazz. Its sound featured his melodic blues style set against the Latin American and Afro-Cuban rhythms played on percussion instruments not generally heard in rock, such as timbales and congas. His early music consisted of a mix of rock, blues, jazz, salsa, and other influences. Two of Santana's most enduring and well-known hits included Oye Como Va and Black Magic Woman. After a shifting of musical styles, he produced the 1976 album Amigos, which featured songs played in a strong funk and Latin sound. The album received considerable airplay on FM album-oriented rock stations, especially with the instrumental song Europa. The show band performed the song this past February to honor the passing of guitarist Roman Ferranda. Tonight we welcome talented guitar soloist Ken Soderlund, who will perform his interpretation of this hit song. The selection also features the creative choreography of show band musician and dancer Chaffee Soderlund. Let's give Ken and Candy a warm round of applause as they perform Europa.
Beautiful. Beautifully done, Kathy. Thank you. One of the very talented musicians in the show band is Francisco Moa. He is the show band's first chair alto saxophonist. However, he's also a very accomplished violinist. When asked about his interest in the violin, Francisco shared that in 4th grade, my older sister decided to learn the violin, my older brother chose the cello, and being the youngest, I went for the viola. My father was an accountant and an accomplished classical pianist. Therefore, we had a small family string ensemble. Doesn't everybody? I played viola throughout elementary, junior high, and high school orchestras. One day I borrowed my sister's violin, figured out the notes, and I never looked back. Tonight he will perform a solo that he arranged for the violin. Although it was originally composed as a Hungarian dance, it's found its way into the library of the Latin violinist. Sit back and enjoy Chartus. The show band will be led by Assistant Director David Shasma.
Over the past years, one of the most popular vocalists performing in show band concerts has been Dr. George Matamala. He possesses a special talent for performing songs in a variety of musical genres. George is also a trained musician and plays the electric bass. Tonight he brings a Mexican ranchera-style song in Spanish that was written in 1972 by Fernando Maldonado and popularized by Vicente Fernandez in 1973. It has been recorded by a host of artists that include Ry Cooder and Nana Muscuri and sung by Harry Dean Stanton in the 2017 movie Lucky. The title of the song means going back, going back. The lyrics speak of lost love. Let us welcome George with a round of applause as he sings Volver, Volver.
Este amor apasionado anda todo alborotado por volver. Voy camino a la locura y aunque todo me tortura, sé querer. Nos dejamos hace tiempo, pero me llegó el momento de perder. Tú tenías mucha razón, le hago caso al corazón y me muero por volver. Y volver, volver, volver a tus brazos otra vez. Llegaré hasta donde estés. Yo sé perder, yo sé perder. Quiero volver, volver, volver. Nos dejamos hace tiempo, pero me llegó el momento de perder. Tú tenías mucha razón, le hago caso al corazón y me muero por volver. Y gracias.
George's next selection tells the story of an unattractive man who asks others to speak in positive terms of his appearance. He states, "I am ugly, an ugly man." Who knows how to love with all his heart. George will now tell us an entire story in song. Let us have another round of applause for him as he sings El Feo.
Si te hablan de mí, muchachita, si te hablan de mí en tu presencia, diles que yo soy tu negro santo. Diles que yo soy tu negro santo. Yo soy un feo que sabe amar con todo su corazón, que te quiere de verdad. Yo soy un feo que sabe amar con todo su corazón, que te quiere de verdad. Pawini gavena shpadwawine, Pawini gaveke pechinu, shindito ganabati feuna, shindito ganabati feuna. Ilimanano café ranasi, di vacío, descarga de la vida. Ilimanano café ranasi, di vacío, descarga de la vida. Si te hablan de mí, muchachita, si te hablan de mí en tu presencia, diles que yo soy tu negro santo. Diles que yo soy tu negro santo. Yo soy un feo que sabe amar con todo su corazón, que te quiere de verdad. Yo soy un feo que sabe amar con todo su corazón, que te quiere de verdad.
Well, thank you. Good evening tonight. It's good to have you here. My name is Gary Owett. I'm the president of the Ontario Chaffee Community Show Band. I have a few announcements I want to make. One of the things I did want to say was these two hats are pretty special. The hat on my right, your left, the sombrero, is Vicente Fernandez's. He wouldn't give us his tequila bottle, but anyway. Looks good on you, Gil. And the other hat is Carlos Santana's. So we've got the older version and then the newer version, so to speak, of some of the great singers from Mexico. Tonight I just wanted to mention to you that we are so pleased, and we want to give great thanks to the show band production team, our hardworking staff. That includes our librarians, Miriam Keith and Crystal Leonard, as well as the band manager, Bob Mattis, and his equipment crew. They do a tremendous job. Without their help, all you'd see is Xanadu up here. So this way we have a band to sit in front of it. We also are thankful to Pride Pierce for Tim Greenwood and the Magnolia Video Productions, the City of Ontario, who's one of our great sponsors, as we know, the Inland Valley Daily Bulletin, Homero Chavez, who is our band stage manager, auto technician and musician, Chris King, Gardner Spring Auditorium technician in the back, and Chaffee High School Performing Arts Department, as well as the Chaffee Adult School Principal, Todd Haig. We sincerely thank all of the show sponsors. They're on the back of your program. We'd love to have your name on there as well. There's plenty of room. We'll put out 2 back pages if we need to, if you want to get involved. We enjoy your presence here tonight, and we enjoy the money that you put in our Hungry Tuba. And that was the one thing I wanted to mention, is the Hungry Tuba. How important it is. It helps pay for our mailing and trying to get information to you as well. This particular show, by the way, is sponsored by the Petruccelli family. Our conductor, Gabe Petruccelli, his lovely wife, Susan. They are the sponsors tonight. Thank you, Gabe. I've never seen him look so good, have you? And if I may, I'd like to introduce a few of our VIPs who are here. We have 2 on the stage right here, our 2 narrators, Gil Zendejas of the Chaffee Joint Union High School District Board and Elvia Rivas of the Ontario Montclair School District. We also have other school board members, my wife Sue Ovitt from the Chaffee Joint Union High School District Board. We have Eric Montague from the Cucamonga School District and also a Chaffee High School Spanish teacher. He's the one that brought the sombrero and the flores. We also have our entire board from the Ontario Chaffee Community Show Band. We have Al Bowling, who is our vice president of the Ontario Chaffee Community Show Band. We have Gary Keith in the back. Gary's wife, Miriam, plays in the band. We have Jim Milheiser, the treasurer for the City of Ontario, as well as our treasurer. It's a good idea to keep him in both jobs, as you can tell. We benefit from it. His own generosity, not the city's. Well, the city's very generous too. But we also have Dr. Chris Hollister, who is on the Chaffee Joint Union High School District as an assistant principal. We appreciate, not principal, as an assistant superintendent. I'm sorry. And we also have Richard Ortiz, and Richard is one of our donors that we really appreciate. He'll be sponsoring the December show. We look forward to that. So. Lots going on. Hungry Tuba in the back. Don't forget to visit it while you're having your coffee and your cookies at the end of the show. And we've got a beautiful show to continue, so let's keep going.
Thank you, Gary. An important element of the development of Latin music in America is the infusion of jazz. The movement grew into 2 main categories: Afro-Cuban jazz, which is rhythmically based on Cuban popular dance music, with a rhythm section employing ostinato, or repeated patterns, and Afro-Brazilian jazz, which includes the samba and bossa nova. The show band's next selection is an original piece composed by Dr. Petruccelli that is written in the style of a samba. It was composed as a showcase for our Latin jazz solo pianist. In the arrangement, the soloist plays the song's melody, then creates or improvises on the song's chord progressions, and then returns to the melody. The show band is very honored to introduce our special guest artist and outstanding jazz pianist, Dr. Reed Gratz, as he performs Peach Margarita, accompanied with Latin percussion, and is show band stage manager, Homero Chavez.
beautifully incredible. Dr. Gratz is the retired music department chairperson at the University of Laverne. He has worked as a music professor at Washington State University, the University of Miami, and several universities in Europe. He has been a member of the advisory board for the American Jazz Institute, serving with Lee Kontz and Mort Saul. Dr. Gratz is an award-winning jazz composer and the recipient of 2 Fulbright lectureships. He has composed music for more than a dozen plays and performed with an array of noted musicians that include George Russell, Bobby Shew, and Herb Alpert. He has selected an original work from one of his albums written in the style of a bossa nova. Please, you guys are all expected to get up and dance. Just giving you a little heads up here. Please join me in giving Reed a round of applause as he performs View from the South.
One of the most dramatic and well-known works written by a Latin composer is Malagueña. In general terms, malagueñas are flamenco dance styles from Malaga in the southeast of Spain. Interestingly, it was Cuban composer Ernesto Lecuona who originally penned Malagueña in 1933 as the sixth movement of his suite Andalucia. The song has since become a popular jazz, marching band, and drum and bugle corps standard. It is also a composition that is frequently used by dancers in Latin music. Kathy Sutherland returns with her interpretation of this memorable Latin work. Please give Kathy a warm show band round of applause. continue. Here we go. We continue this evening's concert by featuring another original Latin jazz composition written by Dr. Petruccelli. The selection features Aaron Holguin on flugelhorn, Reed Gratz on keyboard, and the outstanding musicians of the show band. The song was premiered by Aaron nearly 5 years ago when he was a student at Colony High School. Let us have a rounding round of applause for our soloists and show band musicians as they perform Una Noche Española.
Okay, just a few minutes. Is it getting late? No. Heartfelt thanks to the greatest show band in all the land, the musicians behind me, the Ontario Chaffee Community Show Band. Here they are. I threw a lot at them this time, and they were up to the challenge. They're very good people, very good. Many thanks to President Gary Ovid and his esteemed board of members for the Friends of the Show Band and for their unwavering support. Whenever I want money, I go and ask Gary, and he's right there. So, Gary, I'm taking a trip to New York next week. I don't need Sue, thank you very much for decorating the table. I appreciate that very much. And Dennis Sampson backstage there, he never gets a lot of credit, but Dennis done a lot of special things for me this month, and I appreciate it, Dennis. Thank you. I want to thank the, if you came early enough, you know there were coffee and cookies. How about that? Is that a good time? Is that a good sign? Okay. Don't forget to tell your friends because, tell them the cookies and coffee are back. So I want to thank Ruby Levitt and Sue Ovid and Laura Porter for assisting with the hospitality. And I don't know, Laura, did Mr. and Mrs. Castaneda, did they help too? And Joseph? Are they here tonight? Hi, how are you? Thank you for coming. I want to thank our distinguished narrators, Elvio Rivas and Gilson Tejas. Excellent job tonight, thank you. One assistant director sitting in the audience, I want to acknowledge him, Mr. Pat Arnold, who just recently had a little health, and he'll be back next month. And then my other assistant director, David Shaftsman. Stand up, David, for his work on the podium. Before I forget, if anybody is interested in being on our hospitality team, that means coming to help serve the coffee and cookies, please see me or Gary or Sue or any one of the members of the show band family. We would certainly enjoy having you with us, and even if you can't make it all the time, maybe once or twice or 3 times, if you're interested, please let me know. I also want to thank Mr. Eric Montag for graciously providing many of the Latin costumes that you see here, including the one that I'm wearing. So Eric, where are you? Thank you, Eric. Eric, by the way, is an outstanding Spanish teacher at Chaffee High School, and he's also the director of the Folklorica Club. He does an outstanding job. Thank you very much, Eric. Now, our outstanding show band soloist, Chaffee Soderlin. Where are you, Kathy? Stand up. She's an outstanding dancer and also musician. Very, very, very talented young lady. Francisco Mowat. He's our first saxophonist and also plays the violin equally well. And some of our great our guest musicians, Ken Soderlin, where are you, Ken? Ken was the guitar player on Europa. And he's supervised by Kathy. So, Aaron Holking. Aaron, stand up. Keep your eye on Aaron. He's an outstanding young musician, and he is going places. I want to also thank my guest conductor and musician, George Osorio. George, stand up. George is doing some great work in this town with the Southland Wind Ensemble. If you have an opportunity, check the Facebook for his next concert. He does a fantastic job, and he's also the assistant conductor with the Southland Symphony Orchestra. And then, last but not least, the outstanding jazz composer and pianist, Dr. Reed Gratz. And finally to you, my loyal and wonderful audience, for being in attendance tonight. Thank you for coming. Dr. George Malamala. George, come on out. Sorry, I missed him. Thank you, Bob. Is Dan Freeberg here? Did Dan Freeberg make it? He's getting a little... Dan, are you here? I'm here. Dan is the... taught George everything he knows. George, did you say hello to Dan? He's out there. Dan, thanks for coming. He was the, as Gary said, he was the choir director at Fontana High for 65 years. Wow. No, just kidding.
Thank you, Gabe. I want to thank our chair dancers out there, because when I asked you to dance, I did see you dancing out there. The beautiful lady right there in the middle, raise your hand. I see you. You're looking at me. Raise your hand. I see. That's you. Uh-huh. Thank you. Yep, right here too. You were wonderful. Thank you for dancing. On behalf of Dr. Petrocelli and the entire show band family, the Petrocelli family itself, the Chaffee Adult School, Chaffee High School, my co-host, Gil Sendejas, I want to sincerely thank you for spending your evening with us. We hope that you have enjoyed tonight's performance and look forward to seeing you all of you, and bring some friends too. Once again, right here in Gardner Spring Auditorium on November 14th for the show band's Giving Thanks to Our Veterans concert. Who's coming? I want to see a show of hands. Okay, thank you.
The show band concludes this evening's concert with one of the most familiar melodies heard throughout the world. It's a folk song entitled The Mexican Hat Dance. So you chair dancers, you're on. Please feel free in joining the show band by clapping along.
You guys are going to be on social media tonight. Thank you for being here tonight. Good evening. And remember to stay healthy and drive home safely. We'll see you next month, everyone. Good night.